My name is Mark Winter. I'm a CW2 in the U.S. Army. I'm a UH-60 helicopter pilot. I've been flying for 11 years now. Last summer, normal day, I bit my tongue, thought nothing of it. And so I just went on with my normal day. Went to the dentist a few weeks later, and she noticed there was a white spot on my tongue. I told her I bit my tongue. She said, "No, I'm going to send you to a higher care." So I went to William Beaumont, the Army hospital on Fort Bliss, and they did a biopsy on my tongue, and they said it came back as possible cancer, and so they wanted to see me again for another biopsy. That's when it came back as squamous cell carcinoma on my tongue, which was very rare because I've never smoked or dipped or anything. When we found that out, we went to the ENT at William Beaumont. He was telling me about the surgery, and then that's when I told him, I was like, I want to go see a civilian on the outside world.
We had some friends who were in the medical community in El Paso, and when we found out about the diagnosis, Mark is 29 years old, we have a toddler, we were terrified, and so I reached out to them, and they gave me some contacts who let me know about Dr. Brockhoff. He then actually called me personally, and he was at a conference and just reassured me, got us in for an appointment within a couple days, and really just took care of us from that point on. And we were just so grateful that we were able to stay in El Paso with our daughter, with our dog, to receive care and to get Mark healed and better, which gratefully that happened in a very short period of time.
You know, when I first met Mark, he came into the office, he brought his family in there, and they had recently received this diagnosis of cancer for his tongue. And there was a lot of confusion. You know, he's a young man and he has a young family. He's a helicopter pilot, and he was scared about what this meant for his future, his career, and certainly what to do with his diagnosis. And so I think just his initial ideas about what it was a little uprooting. So I walked him very carefully through what his diagnosis was, what the implications were, that it was an early stage cancer. And typically these are treated with surgery. When you remove part of the tongue, one of the challenges are the tongue is very important in speaking and swallowing, and for his high level of functioning, he needed to be able to communicate clearly, critical information, and so this had a huge implication for what his job and his career and his life would look like. And so one part is to remove the cancer, and the other part is to rebuild the tongue. Options include taking other parts of the body and transplanting them, and in this case we used a segment of Mark's neck and transferred it into the tongue to rebuild the tongue and rebolster it. This is a really effective way of not only removing the cancer but putting tissue back into that place so that he can speak well, he can speak clearly, he can eat appropriately. And so after we walked through all of that, the family was calm and understanding, and I think they understood what their treatment options were, and decided to move forward with the surgery.
So surgery, leading up to surgery, it was great. Everybody came in, introduced themselves. They made me feel comfortable. I didn't know what I was going through at first, so I was nervous, but I was able to remain calm. The nurses in the ICU were wonderful. I wrote down some of their names to give them gift cards after this whole procedure. They all took care of me very, very well. Brockhoff was in every day to check up on me. Some of his other medical partners were there as well. So it was, UMC was able to take very, very good care of me.
You know, it was a crazy 6-month period of time. Mark had a very intense stay in the ICU for a week. We received wonderful care from the ICU nurses. For his prognosis, for different things that we were told, 25 to 30% of his tongue was removed, but he can eat, swallow, talk, and he resumed his job, which he loves, which is a helicopter pilot in the U.S. Army. We went on a ride, but I can say that my husband's a survivor, and we have resumed our normal life, which is amazing and only due to the wonderful care and surgery that we received.
Finding Brockhoff and UMC being that level 1 trauma center or care center, Brittany and I, my wife, we were just blown away by the care that was given to us. It was just it exceeded our expectations, definitely, for sure.
It's a beautiful thing to see him return to his life, his job, to be cancer-free, and he has a really, really bright future ahead of him.